Okay, let's start with a viewer question, then continue with Friday's trades current positions, and finish with Monday's watch list and Friday's breakouts and breakdowns. So someone on Twitter asked me, how can I have so many positions? How can I manage so many positions and at the same time enter new ones? And the simple answer is I really don't manage them that much. Like most of my positions are like I have some nice profits on them. They're very far from my entry, and they're usually far from my stop areas. Let's say Pixelworks, for example, I mean from 375, right? So it's not even close to my stop at 370. URA, I'm short from like 1920 or something like that, or 1915 or whatever. And it's not even close to my entry. It's CLF. I mean from 10. I think I mean from 1060 average. I bought it at 1040, and then I added a 1080 after the offering, so I'm about 1060 average. It's not even close to being near my stop or near my entry. But this one actually is kind of close to my entry. So there's really not that much to manage. So on some of these things, I do set alerts if I feel like they are kind of close to potentially stopping me out intraday. And on some of these that are very close that I think may stop me out near the open, I just set stops on them. So I don't have to watch them right out of the gate because there's so many other things to do. So like OCLR, I'm from like in like 985. It's not even close to my stop. Kala, I mean from like 7. I mean here 655. It's so far above my any stop areas. Just I mostly don't even watch these things intraday. I just may look at them near the open if I get a few seconds over from watching everything else. And then I may look at them quickly midday and then before they close, just to see if they close well or if I have to take some profits or size down or anything. So I hope this answers the question. Even though I may have, a bunch of positions, I may only like watch a few of them closely because they are near my entry or near my stops. Okay, so Friday's trades. Let's start with CLF. Didn't do anything. Actually pulled back slightly. Wix had a little bit of a weak open, then it just grinded back rest of the day. It was actually kind of close stopping me out, or maybe $1 from getting stopped out, so it wasn't that close. Netease just went sideways. CLVS, it had some, as you know, I anticipated a little bit of breakdown on this one on Thursday, but it had positive broker comments, and the stock just broke out of this tight consolidation. Now this is a good long setup. I just passed on it. I got stopped out at 63, and then just went straight higher, and I kind of dropped it off radar. But if I hadn't been short, I would maybe have bought it, because this is a very good long setup. CMBX. Actually, I'm gonna go through this trade later. CALA actually CALA. I added to my existing position here at 910. I only added the small 1,000 shares. It's kind of thin stock. Had some decent volume, but these kinds of setups are very obvious, so everyone's chasing it, and you see this high volume candle here. Everyone's chasing it. I kind of hope it shakes them out, so I can potentially get an even better setup maybe a few days or a few weeks from now, when no one is watching it, when that's not so obvious. Let's see. So Pola didn't do anything. Pixelworks didn't do anything. OCLR. So I actually added to this one. I've been talking about this one before. I think it can go to 12, 13 plus in the next few weeks or months. So I added to it here in the 1095 area. I'm gonna use this 1050 area as my stop for the ads. So I bought 10,000 shares to begin with, and I scaled out 3,000 here when it stalled out, and I just put those 3,000 shares back on with a tighter stop. CTRL didn't do anything. No, the CNAB went up nicely. And I locked in some more profits. I have locked in about a third, actually a quarter or so my shares so far. It had some weird print just after the market closed. It had a print of like 100 shares, 20 cents, and that's in after hours. And there's really no after hours and OTCs, as you know. They don't trade outside regular hours, but just some weird random market maker print. So I'm not down 7,300 on this position. I'm up like 2,000-3,000 on it. So that's just a wrong number. And VRX, I was short from Thursday. I covered some near the open, gap down a little bit. I still think it may go to this mid-low 15s, a tiny position. I'm just gonna let it ride with a break-even stop. ICHR didn't do anything. Now Tesla, what a beast from my short, just absolute monster. I covered some more near the open and midday. I'm thinking about maybe adding back some if it gets to this high 270 area on Monday. Maybe add back a couple of 100 shares and use like a tight stop on it. URA pulled back a little bit more, bounced a little bit off the 10-day rising moving average. So I covered some more. Probably gonna use this 1870 area as my stop on the rest. I only have a third of my shares left. Tesla also, I only have a third left. Labu, what a monster, you know, it was a little bit extended, tried to pull back, put in another higher low. So you can see just higher lows all the way, put in another higher low and just went straight up on Friday. Just absolute beauty. I'm gonna try to hold this position for a while. Maybe it can go to like mid-high 50s or something. ATH got stopped out of my last shares. As you know, I bought it here. It went straight up and scaled out on the way up, and just a beautiful trade. Recent IPO. Just memorize this kind of a pattern. This is just so textbook. It's just, I mean, you have a recent IPO, a range, you have higher lows, you have breakout on above average volume. It's just so textbook. It's just a 5-star chart. CMBX. Actually, I'm gonna go through CSAN first. I actually kind of anticipated a run on this thing. It's holding up very well. There's probably an offering coming any day, so it's very dangerous to hold it long overnight. The offering price could easily be like $1 lower or something. But every day they don't do an offering overnight. This thing could, one of these days, it could squeeze, could put in another big candle. Who knows? So I'm just stalking it. I was a little bit too aggressive on it. I tried it twice and got stopped out both times. What's the ticker? Yeah, CMBX. So this was my main trade. I shorted it. Let's look at the 5-minute chart. Shorted it when it went red. Then it went green again. Took out the highs of the day. I covered most of my shares, but I decided to keep 4,000 shares, like a core position that I was thinking. I just didn't care about it. 4,000 shares. I was thinking, it goes up another $1 or $1.52, whatever. And unfortunately, it did go up another $1. So, kind of grinded me. Went straight up. So I started adding back here when it showed some like the momentum started stalling a bit, so I added back. I tried to cover some here, but I missed this low 340s, so I never got filled on those. I wasn't fast enough. And then here, if you look at the chart here, it looked like it was gonna break down of this late day breakdown below this range. So I tried to allocate more shares, but both of my brokers that had shares had restricted it during the day, so I couldn't get more. And then it started kind of grinding back, it put in higher lows, and so I saw the danger. So instead of covering, since I didn't have any borrows, I really want to be in this short. It's gonna crack. It's gonna crack one of these days, like maybe Monday, probably Monday, but it can obviously go higher too. So I boxed. I started boxing it in the like 390s, like mid 390s, 410 area, 14s, and I basically boxed a third of my position here, another third here, and another third here. So it was kind of a stupid. That last third was kind of stupid. I could have just let it go, like 5,000 shares, whatever. Then it just crapped out, and I was fully boxed, and it just didn't change my P&L at all. So it's just kind of a stupid box attempt, at least the last third. But I unboxed some into the close, so I'm about 40% boxed on these shares. So this is the account where I shorted the shares. As you can see, my average is 370, which isn't the best, since I have about 4,000 shares from this actually like 295 average or something like that, 293. So that kind of screwed up my average. And this is where I boxed it. As you can see, this is basically my last third, mostly, which I got some really bad fills on, like very thin OTC names. I got filled there in the low mid 430s. Just a stupid box attempt. Probably one of my worst box attempts ever. But it is what it is. I think Monday is gonna be the ideal scenario if this thing gaps up, pushes to like 450 or maybe even $5 or something out of the gate, and it just fades the rest of the day. That would be the ideal scenario, but we'll see what happens. This thing can go to 556 or something on Monday. It can do it, so it's not something you can just short at any price, any size. And I really hope there will be shares available, because I want to get this position up to like 25, 30,000 shares. Right now I only have 15, so one of these days it's gonna be down $1.50, and I want to be there with at least 20, preferably 30,000 shares, maybe even more. But again, it's an OTC, so the problem is the fills. So I'm always afraid of OTCs. Can't really, even though you could do size on this thing, it's pretty liquid, but just OTC fills are so horrible, and I'm not really good at trading OTCs overall. So, but if it was a Nasdaq, I would probably be in more size. Probably would have been in more size near the open. So, anyways, those were the trades and the positions. So no, I'm not down 11,000 in this account on Friday. I'm down like a couple of grand, because this is not the real number. Yeah, so let's go through some of the interesting breakouts and earnings movers. This RUS, it's a Russian triple bear ETF. Tried a little bit of a bottom break. As you know, Russia has been on a run since Trump won, because Trump is kind of a friendly with Putin and Russia, so they've been on a nice run. Tried to break down This Russ is the inversed one, so it tried to break out, kind of got rejected of this declining 50. But you know, this thing could go, but not really excited about it. Coup, I'm going to try to buy it on dips on Monday. I tried to buy it on dips on Friday here in the 2670s, but it just went straight up. So I'm gonna retry it on Monday. I really like this kind of a chart. Can go to 30 or something very easily. And also recent IPO bottomed out, putting in higher lows for a couple of months now. Has a nice range here. So as I've been talking about this before, but recent IPOs are very friendly to technical analysis. Like TA works really well on them overall. So this one had some patent win, so it kind of wasn't really a great setup. Wasn't tight enough here, so I passed on it. But it can go to 1250, 13. So this one tried to break out. Actually had a nice breakout going, and then it faded back into the close. This is another bottom biotech related. Actually, it's not biotech, but diagnostic and research is pretty much a biotech, I think. Looks pretty good. Reclaimed the 100-day declining moving average. As you can see, this thing has been just riding it down for over a year. And now it reclaimed it on volume. So this one looks pretty damn good. Next stop is probably 20 bucks or something. So this one had some shitty earnings on Thursday and just, I may actually buy it on the dip if it dips on a Monday. I would love to get this thing in the 750s or 740s and then use like low 7s as my stop. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get it on a dip. Looks really good. This kind of a chart can really, as you can see, it's been going down for years and years. So this is a cyclical stock, like solar, these things go up, they go down, they go up, they go down. Had a big run back in 2013, had an enormous run. Went up like 900%, and since early 2014, it's just been going lower. And now they had some, the earnings were horrible, but they had some interesting analyst comments, like they're saying that this may be the bottom of the cycle. And yeah, I mean, this thing could go to 10 or something, so looks interesting. Had some decent volume, reclaimed a 100-day declining moving average after multiple years of being up below it. VCYT had some news, thin stocks, I didn't even really look at it. Had some earnings, nothing exciting. Took out the multi-year range, but again, not really exciting numbers. This one is a OTC wheat stock. It's a paid pump. ANET has some great earnings. Oh, not great earnings. They had some decent earnings, but the earnings day move was really good. Gap up and just straight up. This is big strength. I mean, this thing could easily go to 150 over the next few months. But again, I passed on it. I mean, so many already. I mean, CTRL, NetEase, one more. I don't remember the symbol right now. I mean, a bunch of earnings movers, Pixelworks, and some others. So I just passed on it. Wasn't really blowout numbers, but it looks good. Anyway, so this one had another cyclical. It's a steel stock, so it's basically market is basically anticipating better earnings on these. Since the commodities going higher. This one had a multiple year range breakout. Nothing really exciting here. Another earnings mover, kind of a slow moving stock, so pretty decent numbers. Could go to 90 or something. Why not? But this one looks good. Just ultra thin, so I just didn't look at it at all. And VRO had no volume at all, like really low volume. So And the volume it had, it kind of came in near the close, so I really passed on this one. This one is the one I should have traded. I saw it here at 94-ish, but I just passed on it. But this is just the perfect looking flag. Just perfectly riding the rising 20-day and then just broke out the volume. This is next stop is $100. Another one had a little bit of a breakout, had buyout rumors a couple of weeks back. Well, probably the strongest stock in the market right now, or at least one of the top 5. I don't know why this one is here. Another one, I was actually looking at it, but just didn't have enough consolidation. CLV, as I talked about, APRI. As you know, I've been stalking this one for 2 weeks or so and tried to break out. I actually traded this breakout here that failed, and here I just passed on it on Thursday when it tried to break out again. There was just no volume. Got some volume on Friday, but I just passed on it again because the entry was really in the 290s, if not 280s. Now this one is my biggest regret on Friday. Like, if you look at it here, I saw it consolidating tight, at no volume, just below this breakout area. And then it midday started breaking out. I saw it here at 76 cents. My mistake was I tried to get in on dips. So I tried to get in at 75 cents and it just, obviously I never filled. It went straight up. This is just a perfect looking breakout chart. It can go to like 150 or something. Just ultra strong. Oh, this is, I didn't want to pay up 1 penny, and that probably gonna cost me a lot of money, or at lot of missed profits. Another biotech. This is spin-off, had a gap up and just went higher. I wish I'd seen it earlier. I may have bought it in the mid 46s, but I saw it in $47, so it was kind of a chase buying it there. Okay, so that's it for now.